Wall of Grief and Love, the podcast. Welcome to the Wall of Grief and Love, a podcast about all things to do with the UK COVID Memorial Wall, half a kilometre of painted red hearts that runs from Westminster Bridge to Lambeth Bridge on the South Bank in London, commemorating those who have lost their lives to COVID in the UK. Each week, we'll be telling you a story about the wall, how it began, how it's maintained, and what it means to the people whose loved ones are commemorated there. I'm Lorelei King, a volunteer at the wall, and I look forward to sharing these stories with you. Episode 4. Vernute Williams, known as Rex. Our loved ones were as unique as each individual heart that's painted on the COVID memorial wall, and it's important that we remember what made them so special. Today we're talking to Charlie Williams about his father, whom he lost early in the pandemic. Charlie is the co-founder of the Windrush Movement UK and advocate for the Windrush National Organisation. He is also a recipient of the Association of Jamaica National's Norman Manley Local Heroes Award for his work in the community. Charlie is one of the earliest and longest-serving members of COVID-bereaved Families for Justice UK and often acts as spokesperson for the group. We asked Charlie to tell us about his father.
My name is Charlie Williams. I lost my father in the first wave, the 20th of April, 2020. His name was Vernute Williams, known as Rex to friends and family. Rex was a character that everyone knew in the community, well loved and liked. He's the kind of person that would never walk past anyone without saying hello or have a conversation with them. Very cheerful and loving character. Born in Jamaica, he came over with the Windrush generation in the late 50s. He came over to the UK and he worked all his life over here. He was a manager of a plastics firm. And yeah, they loved him there. He's there for probably about 30 plus years, and they never forgot him. Even when he retired, they'd send him a case of fine wines and whiskies, literally to the care home each Christmas. It was really fantastic how they never forgot him over the years. We had a great relationship. I'd go and see him when he was living in a care home. So I'd go and see him, and he would always be singing. Maybe a song from Nat King Cole, one of his favourite artists, Nat King Cole. I was quick enough to get a recording of him singing Nat King Cole, which I still have with me today. So it's one of the memories that I do have of him. Is singing Nat King Cole, When I Fall in Love. So that's a great memory to have. My father, 85 years old, living quite happily in his care home for a number of years, very much loved in the care home, quite a favourite in the care home from what the care workers told me. And what I understand today after speaking to the care workers, in fact, they made it a point of getting in contact with me 2 years back to say that they received patients from a hospital and this particular patient was COVID positive. So initially, the staff members refused to take him in. And they was told by the hospital staff to contact their care provider. So they made a call to the care provider and they was ordered to take in the patient, knowingly he was positive, COVID positive, which, I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. Cut a long story short, we had 27 deaths in my father's care home. And, my father in particular, he was kind of My father's flat, because they all have their own individual flats in the accommodation, and he had a COVID patient either side of him. So you can imagine when they're doing their routines like dinners and giving out medication, they go to the COVID patient, then they go to my father, then the COVID patient again. And my father, since they told me my father's condition deteriorated on Thursday, the 16th of April, if I remember correctly, he died within 5 days. He's gone within 5 days. He didn't stick a chance. Literally surrounded by COVID patients, and the hurtful thing is, I constantly asked them for the last 5 days of my father's life, is there anyone with COVID-19 in the care home? I constantly asked the manager every day on the phone, and every day she told me no. There's no one here with COVID. No one here with COVID. So it was really hurtful to know at the end of the day there was 27 deaths. One of my brothers was able to see him. I wasn't. But my eldest brother was able to see him before. Yeah. I don't know if you can call it a funeral. It was 7 or 8 of us. I think it was 9 in total was allowed at the time. It was far from a funeral. It was just a little gathering. Yeah, far from what we would have done for our father. In the Caribbean, we have something what you call 9 nights. And it's like a celebration of the person's life. And you have this 9 nights, 9 days after the person's passed away. And everyone gathers at the person's home, to remember him, have drinks and talk memories all about him. Obviously, in lockdown, we couldn't do anything like that. And obviously, we couldn't have the numbers that we would have had at his funeral as well. There were so many restrictions. So it's like we didn't really get a chance to really say goodbye as we would wish to. The memorial wall, yes, I remember when it first came about, a group of volunteers, majority of them based in London, came up with the idea. And it just kind of progressed and progressed and progressed to what we see today of over 220,000 names and red hearts on the wall, right beside St. Thomas Hospital, and right across the water from the Houses of Parliament, which I thought was very fitting indeed. I couldn't think of a better place for that reminder to be than across the water to the House of Commons. I put my heart on the wall, indeed, I did, yeah. It was an amazing experience to put your heart there. So, yeah, really nice. My heart's on the wall, features my dad, and it says, "To Dad, love always." I am due a visit because I haven't been for a while at the moment, but yes. But I have my pictures of it, and of course I try to tune in each time the team, they do a live report of the wall, which I think is fantastic, especially for people like myself who lives in Birmingham, outside of London. It gives me an opportunity to just sort of see what's happening on the wall. So I think that's a great additional service what our volunteers do for people that are far out away from London is a great thing to do. The wall is famous across the world now. I think not only is it a memorial site for the UK, but I believe it's a site for the world, because we do have people from across the world that visit that wall. So it's a fantastic memorial, and we can only keep building on it, and most definitely have it permanent as a memorial. And just, I see great things happening where the wall is concerned. It's an amazing achievement, and something that I think the whole country cherish.
We're so grateful to Charlie for telling us a little bit about his father, Rex. We're also grateful to Charlie for telling us what the wall means to him. And we're happy to know that the live broadcasts we do from the wall each Friday help people feel closer to it. So that's it. Next week is the final episode of this first series, and we'll be going back to the very, very beginning, talking to the two founders of COVID-bereaved Families for Justice, who, along with Led by Donkeys and the many volunteers who turned up in those first days, were instrumental in the foundation of the National COVID Memorial Wall. We hope you'll tune in. In the meantime, you can visit us online at nationalcovidmemorialwall.org or follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. If you have a loved one who died of COVID in the UK and would like a heart to be dedicated to them, message us on our Facebook page, The Wall of Grief and Love, or email us at covidmemorialwall@gmail.com. Till next time. Wall of Grief and Love, the podcast, was written and presented by me, Lorelei King. Today's guest was Charlie Williams. Post-production is by Ross Berman, and original music is by Roger Planer and John McBurney. This is a Friends of the Wall production. This episode is dedicated to Vernute Williams, known as Rex.